Hello and a hearty welcome to another edition of the Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. The Star Good Morning Show comes up all 5 working days in the week from Monday to Friday. It gears towards bringing issues of national discussion and provide solutions to them where necessary. I am a presenter for today, Hassan Kurma. Our inspirational quote is from an unknown philosopher who says every man is an architect of his own life. Coming up in today's edition, the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources has on Monday, 12 August 2019, received a team of Chinese marine researchers and a vessel from the People's Republic of China, where they will be conducting research in the territorial waters of Sierra Leone. Also in the program today, as today marks 2 years since the devastating mudslide wreaked havoc to thousands of lives and properties, destroyed when Mount Sugarloaf collapsed at Regent Motomé in 2017. Also in today's edition, Action Aid Sierra Leone, Office of National Security, and the Freetown City Council has donated food and non-food items to over 8,000 people, worth over £8,000 to residents affected by the August 2nd mudslide at Botomoku Community, Wellington, in the east of Freetown. All these plus currency updates all lined up for you into this edition of the Star Good Morning Show. With me in the studio is the spokesperson of National Reformation Movement, NRM, Minkailu Kuruma, who will be telling us more on NRM's conference slated for 16th to the 17th of this month, 2019, in the township of Putloko, with party stakeholders on what they describe as pathway to peace and development within the party. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you in the program today. You're still watching the Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. Don't forget this program is proudly sponsored by Rokel Commercial Bank.
SimCorp allow old and young to make deposit and withdraw cash from their account at any time and anywhere. With Rokel Commercial Bank SimCorp, you can send and receive money at any place and any time. Rokel Commercial Bank don't make life better for we all.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. We go for our first story this morning. The Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources has on Monday, 12 August 2019, received a team of Chinese marine researchers and a vessel from the People's Republic of China, where they will be conducting research in the territorial waters of Sierra Leone. Compiled by Abdurrahman Kamara, Redna Studios by Yessi Alwell.
Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources has on Monday, 12 August 2019, received a team of Chinese marine researchers and a vessel from the People's Republic of China, where they will be conducting research in the territorial waters of Sierra Leone. According to the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Emma Kowajalo, the exercise is aimed at quantifying and generate comprehensive statistics report on the available fish species and fish stock that will help in making informed management decisions. She revealed that the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources is currently holding sensitization meeting across the districts on the National Plan of Action to deter, prevent and eliminate illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing and the new fisheries and aquaculture regulations. Sierra Leone, unlike other countries in West Africa, is endowed with mineral, agricultural and other natural resources, which could form the basis of a productive economy and a prosperous society. Marine resources, one of the country's natural resources, has been a challenge in the management of fisheries for strong economic growth, and hence the importance of the kaleidoscope of this story in the history of fishing and fisheries activity in Sierra Leone.
The Chinese government, for where they collaborate with us for the bilateral ties, for them help for this vessel. The guy also for can make sure say we do fish stock assessment, which not take years on this boat. Yes, because we not get the boat, we not get the scientists, we not be get all the capacity, the gadgets them both for do. We for go deep on the water for see the fish them, the type of fish, the species them, and we only get data on what they can land. On land, like when they go catch what they bring and how they collect. But really inside the water now, we not be get the capability for access what they did. So they come in season, dry season, because every season gets their own way where the fish them go, they move. So you get come rainy season, you come dry season, they can access. Then the next year back, we will do similar thing, they will open access. So we'll get both scientists and Sierra Leonean scientists, both Chinese and Sierra Leonean scientists on board. We'll go able to do this work here. They help us also know how much fish roughly we get at the water. We will able to know how much boat we're able now for bring camp and license at this country. So now we're not going to fish. We go to manage the fish then at the water. We go now able to know which type of rope they serve. In fact, we go I will tell you here now, close to millions of dollars because over the 3-year period, and lots of them.
It is known that productive and well-managed fisheries can make an important sustainable contribution to economic growth. Countries with strong economic growth, coupled with good governance in general, also show an increase in prosperity, social life, and reduced poverty rate. Fisheries, according to the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Emma Kowajalo, play a wider role in the economy and for the benefit of all citizens of a country. The direct benefits associated with participation in fisheries, example, food supply, employment, and income, have already been well documented in Sierra Leone and many other countries in West Africa by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations, for example. Managing fisheries for the benefit of all citizens, according to the Director of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Madam Jallo, requires a different type of policy approach, one which looks beyond the conventional boundaries of the sector, that recognizes the undervalued potential wealth of fish resources, which utilizes innovative and proven methods, legal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. Reporting for Star Television News, I am Yesi Hallowell.
Many thanks to Yesi Hallowell for that comprehensive report. You're still watching the Star TV Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. Well, with me in the studio, as I said earlier, is a spokesperson for National Information Movement, NRM, Minkalu Koroma, who will be telling us more on NRM's conference slated for the 16-17 August 2019 in the township of Potloko with party stakeholders and what they describe as a pathway to peace and development within the party. Welcome again, Minkalu. It's a pleasure having you in the studios.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here as always.
We'll actually talk about the slated conference, but first, let's talk about what has been the activities of NRM within the past months. It has been lots of discussions that has to do with, well, the draft constitution and all. What has been the activities of NRM within the past months?
You know, NRM was established almost, it is above 1 year now. It was established sometimes in May 2018. It was established primarily to be that pressure group within the All People's Congress that should be advocating, tirelessly and piling the necessary pressure for the entire reformation of the APC. Our main objective is to ensure we mount an advocacy which will ensure the democratization of the APC. You can agree with me that when we lost the elections in 2018, there were a lot of talks all over the place. Young people, we are on social media, professionals, we are making the analysis as to what were the factors responsible for us not commanding majority insofar the presidency was concerned at that time. And so we formed NRM. We advocated for the review of the 1995 interim constitution of the party, and we did a lot. Aside that, we have also, assisted in our little way in advocating for the party and for the maximization of the welfare of the people of this country. So NRM primarily was established to ensure that we advocate for the reformation of the APC, a total overhauling of the entire party structure, democratization of the party, so that the voice of the vast majority of the supporters, well-wishers and members of the party, their views and aspirations can be reflected into the running of the party. We have decided to have a conference in Potloko on the 16th and 17th of August 2019, which is scheduled for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. We are going to do two things. On Friday, we shall be looking at NRM holistically. You can agree with me that when you establish an organization after 1 year, it is also appropriate for you to go on the drawing board to look at your aims and objectives, look at where you've made successes, where there are still challenges, and how you can overcome those challenges. That is what we are going to do on Friday. We are going to look at the organogram of NRM, our structure. We look at our constitution. We have a document that guides our operation so that we can be in tandem with what the party may expect from us. We may not want to go ultra-vires or contrary to the dictates of the party. That is also the reason why whenever a decision is being reached by the party hierarchy, NRM will always support that decision. When the party decided not to go to Bintumani 3 because it was not properly coordinated, it was not meant to be that kind of conference where frank talks and reconciliations will be done, we also decided to support the party on that drive. When NEC misbehaved and the party decided not to continue contesting elections, we supported the party not until later when the party have decided to also start contesting elections. And we are of the firmest of conviction that we at NRM should always stand with the party, give them the equal support, because we are members of the APC first before becoming members of NRM. And NRM is not different from the APC. NRM is just that pressure group within the APC which is there to advocate for the voice, to advocate for the maximization of the welfare of the majority of the APC supporters. We are the voice of the voiceless. You know, most of the APC supporters, our parents, our aunts and uncles, our brothers, they are the grassroots people. Some of them are market women, some of them are farmers, some are keke riders, okada riders. So all of those people may not have what it takes to advocate for their own rights. So we are that group that serve as the bridge between the party and the people. Their wishes and aspirations will bring to the party leadership so that they can be reflected in whatever the party is doing. So that is NRM for you. On the 2, which is Saturday, we are going to have a lot of stakeholders within the party whom we have invited. You know, the national executive is invited. All organs of the party, we send invitations to them. The Youth League, the Women's Congress, the veterans, the disabled wing, even the task force of the party. We invited all of them because we want to go and really discuss frankly. There are a lot of misperception about NRM all over the place. Some people are of the view that NRM is here to throw spanners into the work of the party or the leadership.
Mikhailo, this brings me to my next question. In as much as you've laid the platform that NRM was formed in order to facilitate issues that have to do with members within the party. But again, some school of thoughts may consider NRM being another fraction of the APC that is being tooled or engineered by big guns within the party that many people have described as people with power thirst, that probably might want to shift those they described as those that could be described as the aged within the party. How true is that assertion?
NRM is not a rebellion. In other words, you know, rebellion is when you are dissatisfied with the governance of the state or a certain organization or institution, you form yourself into a group to come and oust or outseat or overthrow the regime. That is not what NRM is about.
At some point, NRM was disgruntled at which the flag bearer was selected. Either it's election or election.
It is not only NRM that was not satisfied with that process. But let me explain the points you are trying to put forward. Yes, I agree with you. A lot of people, when we started initially, we are not resonating with NRM. Okay. Some were of the view that, in fact, NRM could be one group that has been formed and it is being sponsored by disgruntled former flag bearer aspirants whom we are not able to get the nod. So they decided to undermine even the victory of the party. And so those people have come together to form NRM so that NRM will pursue their game. That is completely not true. Okay. In fact, NRM does not care who becomes the next flag bearer. We do not want to know who becomes the next chairman and leader or the secretary general or whatever position. If NRM was power tossed, for us at the leadership, we will have dropped this advocacy because we have established ourselves, we have made a name for ourselves. We are going to be selected for whatever position that we may want if we work with the leadership and lobby with them. If we want to be selected, if we are power tossed, we just need to go around the leadership and work with them so that, you know, they can see us as their direct boys whom can be selected, because whatever you are being told, you are going to follow it, even if it is not in the interest of the majority of the people. You know, nobody in the NRM have said I want to aspire, or he or she want to aspire for any position. We've not come to that yet. There is an executive of the APC. They have a mandate. Their mandate will expire in October 2020. Yeah. If they so wish to have an early convention, they could have that. If they think they are now tired or retired, they can no longer serve effectively or efficiently, it is in their place to also say we are going to call an early convention to get an executive to replace us. But we have not said they should leave their positions. We have not said they should quit. We have not said that yet. What NRM proposed before now was that, being that most of them, our chairman and leader served as president, is now former president. We think he was no longer in the position to serve effectively and efficiently, because he will not be too agile or active to be engaging in political debate, attending rallies, going to places on political engagement. So we suggested it is appropriate for him to form an interim body, have people new insight and new energies, so that they too can come and serve until we go to convention and elect a substantive executive. That was the proposal. It is left to them to say yes, we are going to do it, or no. Because they did not take it as we actually anticipated, we did not force them, because they have a mandate. There is still a constitution. There is a 1995 constitution. So what we are doing is not uncommon in any political setting.
Okay.
When you make mistakes in an election, you go to the drawing board and reform your party, restructure your party, address all of the things that made you not to command majority in the ballot, so that when you come for the next election, you'll be able to win. It is just like soccer. If I have players in my team that are aged, that are no longer up to the task, I may want to look for younger players. I restructure my team. That is why in Europe and elsewhere places, you see after a player is aged, they are referred to as veterans. And even if they are going to renew their contract, it is just annually. They cannot renew a contract for a player that is aged for 5 years or so. But when you are young and vibrant, you can have a contract signed for even 5 and above years. They want to maintain them because they have something to deliver. So it is not uncommon in politics. When you make mistake, the manager should look for new players. At times, the management of that particular, the shareholders, may even change the manager. And in this case, the voters, the people who are registered with the party, we the supporters, who are subjected to energized dancing and singing during rallies, we are the shareholders of the APC. Yeah, it is our responsibility to also say we want to change the manager, we want to change the players, we want to have new players, we have to have new manager, so that we can be a formidable opposition. See what is happening in the country. The country is not going the way it is supposed to be. There is serious economic problem in this country. There are serious social problems in this country. Take a look at the human rights track record of Sierra Leone currently. We have people who are being incarcerated, who have been in police cell, and just 7 months ago, we saw a situation in which the bail policy was passed into law, in which the judiciary was saying people can be bailed. Now, see, they arrested Karamo Kaba, Honorable Dauda Kalon, and 20 others for riotous conduct. That is a bailable offense. But now they have been denied bail more than 3 times, which is unacceptable by every standard, which is not respecting the rule of law. They have their fundamental rights. But if we have that formidable executive, which is there to galvanize the people, we as a political party, if the judiciary is not living up to the expectation of we the citizens, if the government is not living up to expectation, we have the right to challenge them. We are not going to say we'll resort into what we call political disobedience or violence, but what we'll do, we can embark on peaceful protests for the world to know that in fact what is going on in Sierra Leone is not correct. So NRM is here to ensure that the APC becomes that formidable opposition that will be in the position to engage this government, challenge them on issues, and also win 2023. Remember, we had the majority of the seats in parliament. We had the majority of the councils, but we did not win the presidency.
Yes.
So it begs the question, what went wrong?
So that's the question. If I might take your mind back, it was and still a mystery to many people as to why the APC lost the last general election, the presidency election. And among the recommendations raised by NRM was the process at which the flag leadership was selected or either elected. that you raise concern about. And again, according to the new drafted constitution of the APC, that's whether, well, I don't know whether that was amended in there. Do you feel fulfilled in all of these campaign you are doing?
Yeah, we are halfway fulfilled, but we are not completely
because
fulfilled.
at some point there was some concern again that has to do with the chairman and leader, that
Yes.
is to act as the leader for life.
Yeah, well, let me explain this clearly. First of all, NRM do appreciate the fact that a CRC was empaneled, the Constitutional Review Committee. We appreciate the fact that the CRC did its work and we now have a draft constitution. We appreciate the fact that that draft constitution, 70 to 80% have addressed most of the concerns we raised, and the concerns that were raised by many other people who are not even members of the NRM, which are justifiable. But however, there are still very important clauses that needs to be addressed. Now let us address the issue of the flag bearer first. Yes, the process by which the flag bearer was chosen in McKinney, many do believe, many do hold the view that that should not have been the process. Many do hold the view that it was undemocratic. Yeah, the flag bearer that was chosen by the All People's Congress is very outstanding. Dr. Samura Kamara is not only educated, but he has worked for more than 20 years for government. He has served as finance secretary, bank governor, minister of finance, foreign affairs minister. It means the man is a man with a wealth of knowledge in so far governance is concerned. But what a lot of people did frown at that time was the process by which he was selected. If it was a democratic process in which all of them, the delegates in that hall, will have voted and somebody emerged, even if it was Dr. Samura Kamara still, everybody was going to throw support. But some people who are former flag bearer did undermine the process. Some did not campaign. Some did tell their people not to even vote. All of that undermined the process, and we lost the election. And now it is not only us that are being affected as APC, but the majority of the Sierra Leonean population is being affected. The country is economically starving. You understand? The country is being challenged human rights wise, or the rule of law is also under serious questioning.
So this could not have been the case if the APC would have won the election.
But yes, of course, it could not have been the case. Now see what used to obtain. When Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma came in 2007, the roads were deplorable. Electricity was nothing to write home about. I was a student at Frabe College in 2007. We barely do have electricity. Maybe it is after 3 months that we'll have electricity. More often than not, we use candles to study. Yeah, a lot of people were affected by that situation. But when President Koroma came in 2007, before the year could end, there was 24-hour electricity. Insofar the city, Freetown is concerned. Later on, we saw electricity in the provinces. When we used to come from upcountry from Bay College, we'll spend the rest of the day. You leave 6 a.m. in the morning, you will not arrive in Freetown until 6 p.m. in the evening. But now you'll take 4 hours, for example, from Kenema to Freetown. The longest you'll take is 4 hours. That is, the APC did work for this country. People did not starve. The food was in abundant supply. Electricity was no problem. So the APC is the mechanism to manage the economy of Sierra Leone. So that is why NRM, we just want a formidable, party. We believe we have the numerical strength, we have the human resource base. If we come together as a party, as a people, by 2023, we can still win. The facts speak for themselves. If we can get majority in parliament, if we can win the majority of the councils, we can also win the presidency. So it is a matter of rehugging. So this is why NRM is here. Because, there was a period in history in the APC in which it is regarded as a taboo for you to express your views insofar things that are affecting the party are concerned. You understand? Some people see NRM as that deviant group who have got the bold mind or the tendency to challenge the establishment or the status quo, the leadership. Yes, that is why it took time for people to begin to resonate with our idea. Okay. Yeah, but we appreciate the fact that the majority of the people now clearly understand what NRM stands for. But again, let me also make it clear that we cannot countenance any flag bearer to misuse or use NRM. Anybody who is harboring intention to run for any position, be it chairman of the party, be it secretary general, whatsoever, we can never countenance that individual to use NRM to undermine the successes and progress of the party. All we are advocating is for us to allow the APC to be that party in which a level playing field will be created, in which when it comes to the award of symbol, people in the constituency should vote for the person they want to represent them as MP. People at the award should vote for the one they want to represent them as councillor. People at the district should vote for their district council chairman, for the symbols to be awarded to them, for their mayors. And when it comes to the standard bearer, or the flag bearer as the case may be, the APC, majority of the APC people should have a say in who becomes the standard bearer. Because if you have a say in that decision, you are going to use the last drop of your blood to ensure you protect the decision you've made. Nobody will say it is not my business. If we are here, 10 of us in this studio, working for Star TV, and at the end of the day, when it comes to decision, only you and I make decisions that affect the other 8 people, they will begin to undermine the decisions we make. So that is not what we want to see going forward in the APC.
Minkailu, you've been the key champion of the NRM campaign so far. How cautious are you in making sure you do this in confine with the laws of the APC, taking into cognizance your constitution at 95, Article 8 that talks about anti-party activities? How cautious are you in making sure you do this in confines within the law of the party?
Yes, I'm aware of the clause anti-party activity. Anti-party activity is when you do certain things that undermines the progress of the party. Yeah, when you go contrary to what the party dictates. The party did not say we don't want people to advocate for equal platform. The party did not. When you go to our constitution, it is to a very large extent democratic. Yeah. When you start reading it, it will tell you the way how they want to see people, but there are clauses there
because
which are also
at some point, while other members were popularizing the draft constitution, we are on the other hand saying that you were not included. Could that be seen as an anti-party activity?
Let me just conclude. We are not going to be charged with anti-party activity because we have not committed any crime to advocate for the masses, to say we want our views and aspirations to be reflected in the constitution. The mistake of people trying to use anti-party activity clause to eliminate others who have got opposing views in the APC is far gone conclusion. That will never happen again in the history of the APC. We have always supported decisions of the party. I may hold a contrary view, but as long as it is coming from the leadership, I will support. When the leadership say, don't go to Bintumani 3, we are not going there, NRM did support. When they say we are going to boycott all by-elections, NRM did support. When the leadership say we want to do this, NRM will always support. When the leadership have decided to start contesting by-election, we have always made our presence felt and we have supported. So that in itself is speaking volume of the fact that we are not acting ultra-vires or contrary to the dictates of the party. So we are not going to be charged with anti-party activity. Yeah, this is a democratic state and the APC is expected to be a democratic party. The right freedom of expression is fundamental. It is established in the 1991 Constitution, Chapter 3. Yeah, it is an entrenched clause. So the freedom of citizens who are also members of political parties cannot be trampled upon merely because of anti-party activity. So that should be made very clear.
Okay, so let me only dear Minkailu. When I come back we'll talk about the conference that is slated for the 16th, that is tomorrow and next tomorrow in the township of Putloko. You're still watching the Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. We go for our next story. It could be recalled that August 2nd, Sierra Leone, Freetown, all over the country, we are faced with massive flooding, which took the lives of 7 people and lots of properties were lost. Well, our reporters went around and Moiba community was one of the most affected areas. Our reporters seek the aftermath of these people. Let's go for the reports.
Communities here at Moiba are still counting their losses as a result of heavy rains that flooded their homes on August 2nd this year. The destruction to homes and properties are still fresh in their minds.
So this rain, where it begin come, the mama be the terminal left for car, the pikin up here, but the left and here, but the pikin young. So when the rain starts, I go the pikin down to him, the man be don't go. I dey take the car up and meet the water don take all over the room. Place water don flop inside the room and dey full. Pass and call people dem for car help me broke the domot. So dem broke the domot. I go inside and meet the water don flop to the bed the height. So people dey help me for people meeting there. Why is they pull the thing there? I no be there with other people there wey na me family dem man dey take the thing there. So na small thing that I be able to get me something dem well, the books there in a nursing I dey do and then I collect finally.
The flooding on that fateful day left behind series of destructions that are still visible in the affected communities. This is the back of the Moyiba Community Mosque. The road has been completely cut off at the hilltop overlooking the community. The picture here presents dangerous outlook hanging over children who use this field as a playground. What is seen here is devastating. A community that was once independent is now hanging on the thin hope of relief and goodwill venture.
Well, after the heavy rain, we have a lot of displaced people within the community, and that those people, most of them, but we want to say a very big thank you to Caritas because they responded to us as we demand. Because most of the people that are affected, I believe they are now homeless, and that with the help of the Freetown City Council, through our worship, the mayor, Yvonne Akisoya, there was a item that will help them to locate themselves into their various homes. Some of them, their homes are completely destroyed. They are homeless. We managed to lodge them into their neighbors. And that is where they are now as I speak to you.
This electricity cable hanging dangerously here since the flooding is yet to be attended to, and like many other communities across the city, the situation remains the same. At Motome, the flooding left behind huge economic costs. The devastations are still visible. While walking around, this happens. A Guma Valley Water Company pipe that supplies water to the communities in Freetown was left exposed by the flooding and shifted by the heavy running water. The pipe could not hold back when water was pumped in just after the rains. As communities continue to struggle with the aftermath, picking the bits and pieces of what was left behind by the flooding, people are still residing in these disaster-prone areas. Like Moyiba in the east, the same for Motome.
Of course, they can see the danger if you just turn your camera to my left down the hill. When this landslide occurred yesterday, I'm shocked that there was still a dwelling down the hill, because you can clearly see that it looks new, the zinc looks new. That person could have died, but fortunately we were told he was not in the building. So basically it's very dangerous. The government needs to take some decisions. I don't know how they're going to do it because...
The disastrous flooding that wreaked havoc across the city on that day and the 2017 disaster is among the worst experiences citizens of this nation had incurred for a long time. The heavy downpour recently left several people trapped and dozens of whom washed away in the most deprived slum communities across the city. Reporting for Star Television News, this is Mohammed Kone.
Many thanks to Mohammed Kone for that comprehensive and lengthy report. We hope and pray that the authorities will look at these issues and bring remedies to this, as it has been so for the past years, that every year we should have flooding. Well, we hope and pray that authorities will look at ways to remedy the situation. You're still watching the Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. With us still in the studio is Minkailu Koroma, as he's telling us more about the NRM's conference slated for 16th and 17th August 2019 in Township of Putloko. Now, Minkailu, let's talk about the intended conference that will start tomorrow. A two-day conference. What are the details? What do the members, should the members expect in all of these conferences?
Yes, as you see me sitting here, you see fatigue telling on me. I am very tired because we've been up and running, trying to put things in place for the conference. Everything is in place. Day one, they should expect NRM membership exclusively across the world. I have said across the world because it is not just going to be Sierra Leone. We have our executive in the UK and I in Northern America. They have representatives here who are also here to attend the conference. We are going to chat the way forward on what NRM should look like going forward. We are going to reposition NRM. We are going to look at our organogram, try to restructure our executives across the district, and ensure we look at our bylaws. We have a document guiding us. If you want, you call it a constitution. We are going to ensure that it is in line with the constitution of the party so that we cannot do anything contrary to the expectation of the leadership. We are going to talk exclusively on NRM on day one, and that is why that is a closed session to NRM members only. It is not open to the public. On day two, we are going to have the public invited, and it is going to be in the full view of the media. So even those who are not in Port Loko may have the time to also watch recordings of that program. It's maybe we are going to have live broadcast or not. I cannot ascertain that, but the arrangement is on. But even if there is not going to be live broadcast, Star TV, is being invited to cover the program. AYVSLBC, they are all being invited so that our colleagues who are not in Sierra Leone and those who may not be fortunate to be in Port Loko will also have the time to watch the news or view the program at their convenience. So on the two, we are going to bring in a lot of APC stakeholders. We have invited the executive of the party and every other organ of the party. Invitations have been sent to them for them to go make statements. A lot of people will be there making reconciliatory statements. That is those who we have invited, even those who, for obvious reasons, since we lost the election, they have not been visiting the party office. We are going to talk to them to be coming around because the more the merrier. Let us all put all hands on deck to see that the APC is positioned in a better way that we can be able to challenge the ineffective SLPP government and ensure that we present that kind of opposition that the people of this country will once again trust in, so that come 2023 it will be a simple walkover for us. We are going to do all of that. We are also going to make our position insofar the draft constitution is concerned known, because when we started, we met with our executives across the country. They gave their views as to what they want us to further recommend, because, mark you, it was NRM that championed the advocacy for the review of the constitution. And so it is also our responsibility to follow it to the latter. I was about to respond to a question you asked. We are going contrary to what some people think we are going contrary to what others we are saying, because others we are popularizing the draft, and we are saying something different to what the views they hold. Let me make it clear that we are part of the process. NRM, not only Sheridan, who is the chairman of NRM, but we have other people like Lawyer Sorita Ali and other members who are NRM, who are part of that constitutional review committee. Sheridan opted to leave. He resigned from the committee.
He stopped, by the way.
No, yes, the process was already complete, but he resigned on principles. Yeah, that most of the, whenever you are doing an advocacy, there is always something which is key to your heart. That is the selection clause. To us, we see a situation wherein it was replaced to the consultation clause, because it speaks the same thing. The consultation clause can only be used when it comes to the awarding of symbols to MPs, councillors, mayors. You understand? So we think that one should not be in the constitution. We can consult, but we don't need to have it as a clause in the constitution. Yes.
So on that note, Kyle will have time to discuss more on the drafted constitution. In other words, this conference is for peace and cohesion, in other words.
Yeah, it is the first day is an AGM of the NIM. The second day is, it's a reconciliatory.
It could be seen as a reconciliation
reconciliatory process.
So on that note, I want to say many thanks to you for honoring our invitation into this edition of the Star Good Morning Show. Many thanks to the production team. This has been a very successful program. Our quote for today is from an unknown philosopher who says, "Every man is an architect of his own life." Don't forget the currency updates and weather comes off later. Tune in tomorrow, same time and same station for the Star Good Morning Show. I've been your presenter, Hassan Kurma. Stay blessed and have a wonderful day.